And by the time the husband and wife came back from where they went out to, the woman has used razor blade to tear the child's face. And she was going to give the child tribal mark. And in fact, it was the husband that was mad. Like, he didn't know what to do to this woman. Because how in the world's name do you take such a decision? How in the world's name do you decide to scar my child and you do not think it wise to let me know or seek permission from me? And you tell me, and that is how you have been doing it. Even if I have marks, tribal marks, do you think I will want that for my children? You see, when it comes to tribal marks, people are indifferent. Some people are indifferent about it because they say culture is not an ice cream cone. It doesn't just melt away easily. It doesn't easily melt away. Beyond its dynamism, one major attribute of culture is the fact that it is peculiar. Modernization may have crept in on many parts of the world, but there are places, especially in Africa, that have held on to those traditional practices that make them unique. So, the tribal marks are just one of those several practices, traditional or cultural practices. I mean, have you ever tried to compare it with what we have in other climes, things that are cultural? I hear in a particular tribe, the aunt of the boy has to have carnal knowledge of the boy, and it is to ensure fertility. I see some people put some very big plates in their mouths, and it is meant to extend or elongate their lips. And for them, that is beauty. Here in Nigeria, for the tribes that embrace these tribal marks, they are seen as beautification. Yes. So people have them on, and it is meant to beautify the people that have them on. I also read a story, yes, beautification and identification as well. So once you see them on their body, you just know that this person is from this tribe. You can identify a person from the Yoruba tribe by their tribal marks. Then for beautification. And also for protection. So different tribes use these marks and designs for either identification, beautification, and protection. And these tribal marks are created using sharp instruments such as razor blades, knives, or glass. And in some cases, flesh is cut from the skin to create a gash, which later heals and leaves a permanent pattern on the body. Now, a particular man who traveled abroad shared his own story of how he flee screaming and went to tell her parents that his lion that this man killed, that gave him this marks. And she brought her doll and a pen, and she wanted the guy to sign an autograph. And at that point, he was embarrassed. When he eventually told her the truth, that you see these marks, I did not kill any lion, it's a tribal mark. The girl went about screaming, and the screaming drew the attention of other people. Now, my question to you on the sunny side is this. Would you consider giving your child a tribal mark for any reason, be it for beautification, protection, or identification, or any other reason other than these three, which are the common reasons why people would have them? Or a Telegram message. The WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, based on your question, well, this issue of tribal mark, in the olden days, our parents believed it was for beautification and protection against these diseases. When we don't have the proper medical care centers. But with the passage of time, when technology begins to evolve, tribal marks can heal certain ailments. So, for me as a person, I have it, but it's very faint. My brother will have it, but those ones that are very visible, my sister, honestly speaking, I don't really fancy it. It really makes the person to look somehow disfigured. They have seen them abroad from the West and North. Their own are very big, and it doesn't really make sense. I think most of these cultural practices, to me, I think it should be abolished, so that the human race can still remain beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. All right then. You think it should be abolished so that the human race can remain beautiful. Like I said, a lot of people desire them till today, and it is because it is beautiful for them. Whether it is something from their tribe, or when they see it on people's faces, they're like, what's the meaning of, this mark, I got it, that's... Some people see people with these marks as unique. Some people would desire to have one. And if they do not have one, they would desire it for their children. Now, we need to go on a commercial break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Remember, we are live on X and Facebook. Facebook page Nigeria Info 92.3 PH and X at Nigeria Info PH. WhatsApp and Telegram number remains 0809 030 6416 and the smart number 070 0923 0923.
Stay with us.
Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back to the sunny side. We're still talking tribal marks. And my question, do you find them attractive or repulsive? And would you consider giving your child or children a tribal mark for any reason? Again, a smart number 070 0923 0923. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon, DGW.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm fine. Ezekiel, calling from Ubumi.
Ezekiel, you're welcome.
This your line has been cut this time around.
I don't understand what's happening with the network. So sorry about that.
All right. Let me see. One of my co-in-laws, his child died at Port Harcourt, and they called us that we should prepare to dig the grave of that particular child. They brought this boy down home, and I, as a herbalist, I tried my best to consult one thing or the other, and gave this boy a little mark to change his face from his natural face, and then waited till evening. The boy squeezed his legs and his hands. Up till now, as I'm talking to you, the boy is alive. That is spiritual for you. So sometimes these marks are not for fancy or for beauty. sometimes it happens because of the illness of a particular child. That is how I see it. As I'm talking to you, I don't have it because I did not have childhood illness or ailment. It's because of how sometimes the spirit, the evil spirit or whatever spirit intoxicates some children, both boys and girls. So for me, that is how I see.
So how did the parents of this child take it that you were creating a mark on the child? What part of the body did you put the mark? On the face? The side of the cheek. How did they take it?
I am talking about how it will be irritating. The issue that is that the natural face, because sometimes there are some children, the other side may be disturbing the child, like from one to the other.
Hold on.
Until you give a little mark to change that child's face. The spirit out there, either marine spirit or evil spirit or whatever spirit, so that they will no longer identify that child.
Oh, the mark is to change the identity of the child, so it doesn't look like them. Wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I thought we agreed at some point in time that some of these children that get sick every now and then, it's not spiritual. It's not obanje, as we say in Igbo land. It's a clear case of the child being born with the SS genotype. The child has sickle cell anemia. And in those days, it was not possible to detect because an SS will marry an SS and they will give birth to sickle cell children. If they give birth to 4, the child will keep dying and they will say, oh, it's the child that died before that came again and will die and all of that. I thought that was what we said or had come to agree that it was, as opposed to being a spirit child or someone from the other world. Anyway, digital media, please. This part, we need it for, you know what I'm talking about. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome. We lost that call. Nigeria Info, good afternoon. Nigeria Info, good afternoon. And my phone lines are acting up. I am so sorry. Whew. Good afternoon, Didi. For me, I will never ever give my kids tribal marks. And I thank God my parents never gave me or any of my siblings that. For God's sake, what's that? Have you seen that of the people from Kogi State, Igala in particular? It looks very bad and not nice at all. Madam T from Port Harcourt. DDW, my tribe in Kogi State used to draw it on children's faces. But my parents did not draw it for me. I really appreciate that they didn't. I did not draw it for my own children because I don't like it. Madam. Igala, that's Two Faces. That's Two Face Village now. Nigerian Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Didi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yes, hi. I'm Henry. I'm calling from South America.
Henry, you're welcome.
Okay, now you see, if anybody tries to place a tribal mark on my face, me and that person will never be in good terms with most of this world. It's repulsive, it's irritating, it's an inspired way of life. People are thinking of artificial intelligence, how to keep a robot in the house. Look at the extent we have moved on to. Then somebody is thinking about how to place a tribal mark on.
But it is cultural. I mean, it's cultural. It's something that has stayed year in, year out. And even though modernization will try, there's still people that hold on to that and will never let go. I mean, what if it's your grandmother that comes visiting and says, this weekend, my gay tribal mark, now so we did do for our place.
No. This like I said, if anybody tries it, even my own mother, me and that person will never be in good terms to the end of this world. How much I hate it.
Wow.
That's how much I hate it. Like, it's repulsive. It irritates me. Why would people be thinking of doing that in this our time?
Okay, so it wasn't a problem that it happened in those days, but happening now is where you have a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We've moved away from that realm. We shifted. No longer in this state, we practice all those archaic traditions. Look at where the world is moving on to.
Follow the trend. We don't. We're no longer the times of sitting on tribal mark and the rest of them. No. Let us move. That's why this individual look as if the whites are more intelligent than us. They are advancing more than us because they don't hold on to all these types of traditions. No. Like somebody at this time, 21st century, 2024, is it making of placing tribal marks on the baby's face? Come on, man. It doesn't look good at all.
All right then. But the custodians were not okay. Back to this guy's story. This guy said he's been marked for life. I'm trying to look at his name. Okay, he's Akinwumi. He's now 57 years old and he's happily married. He now has 5 kids and none of them has tribal mark. And in his words, and I quote, "I cannot subject my children to the embarrassment I suffered over the marks I have on my face, even in my school days in Nigeria. They called me all sorts of names because of the severe tribal marks my grandparents put on my face. As a young man, I remained a virgin for a very long time because the kind of ladies I wanted to date rejected me due to the marks on my face. The greatest thing that happened to me was getting educated and qualifying to be a doctor. Otherwise, it would have been disastrous for me. It was very difficult for me to get a woman to marry. I mean, the kind of woman I wanted. The ladies hated the ugly marks on my face. Even my wife till today does not like my tribal marks, even though she eventually accepted to marry me. Her attraction then was traveling to live in the UK with me. But I guess along the line, she began to love me despite my tribal marks." Now, this is just one of the stories shared by people with tribal marks on their faces, many of whom will not give such marks to their children. And you know, nowadays, tribal marks have become the dying law of ancient days. Some of the young people who have it feel resentment towards their parents for giving them such scars in the first place. Now, during the tenure of Ekiti governor, that's Fayose, he banned the inscription of tribal marks in Ekiti. And they say women are worse for it. A woman that has 4 lines each on her cheek may have it tough getting a husband in the present time, no matter how pretty she is. And there have been reports of many who resorted to plastic surgery to reduce the effect of the scars or completely remove them. But here you have it. Across the major and minor tribes in Nigeria, tribal marks are still seen as a way of identifications. Such marks still reveal instantly the tribe of anybody who has such a mark. And in the Yoruba land, this marks an age-long practice of identification of people's origins. Do you think the custodians of these age-long practice will want to let it go, as it were, because people do not like it? Now, you try to make comparisons with the white people. The white people may not have traditions as we have, but do you think the white people would easily let go of some of the traditions that they hold there and they've held on to for so many years? Again, is it something that you will reckon with? Is it something that you would consider for your children? What if it's the case of your child dying and you meet somebody like Eze Ken from Obimini, who is a herbalist, and he decides to put a mark on your child's face to make the child live? Would you be okay with it? 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. Again, WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809 0306416. Facebook page is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. God knows Chikwa on Facebook says nothing cute in those things. Cyril Matthias says tribal mark is satanic and should be abolished. Paluko Steven says very repulsive to me. Nigeria Info, good afternoon and welcome. I am so sorry we lost that call. Did I think tribal marks meant for beautification and identification should not be given at infancy? For crying out loud, it should be left at the person's discretion when he or she reaches adulthood. Those marks are irritating to me. At Zubi, send that in. But you know how they say, it's just like circumcision. It's easier when the child bears it from a very tender age and heals. than having to circumcise a full-grown adult. The same thing. How many people can, And yeah, I also heard somebody opine that tattoos are replacing tribal marks. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know what today. Now you didn't make me the laugh today like this.
Why? Why are you laughing?
No, laugh. You should say that man, that girl, no, I try to like that man to be pussycat because you could check some kind tribal man, some human beings be like pussycat, some be like cat, some be like rat.
Sorry, please. Hold on. Let me say this now. People are listening to this conversation and they have tribal marks, all right? We don't want anybody feeling a certain type of way. You can pass your comments without, resenting anybody or, abusing anyone.
Sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Look at it. When I was small, my mother said I would speak. So they gave me, do my own. You can't see it. It was very small.
Okay. Oh, dear. Whew. Okay, someone says the Two-Face is from Benue and not Kogi. Where did I hear that Two-Face was from Igala now? Or is my memory beginning to do me funny? Anyway. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you and welcome. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you and welcome.
Yeah, my name is Honorable. I'm calling from Koro.
Ida, you're welcome. Ida, go ahead, I can hear you.
Okay, this is Honorable. I'm from Koro. I'm looking live. Yeah, it's fine. It's very fine. My sister, when my mama and my papa give me this beauty, I regret. I get a very big tribal mark on my two-face and my forehead. I asked them because of sickness. Did I want to ask a question? Tribal mark, they show sickness.
I don't know.
So when I tear the mask, they give me the blood to drink. It's like malaria typhoid. I just come off operation. If this unit is talk to sickness, I see they sick every day they sick. So when you travel mark, this kind of things, my face is big mark, one this center. I know they happy for myself. But when I see that, once I carry me to look my face, I vex. Thank you very much, my lovely sister. I greet you.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, I'm laughing. Sorry. Oh my God. I'm grateful for the uniqueness of some of us. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello, Nigerian folk. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Talk to me.
Okay. Please, I want to say something about that tribal mark. To me, I don't really buy the idea of somebody using a mark or from the grandmother or anybody to draw on the child's face, because mine was a secret own. But people will be like, I know you're from Ogun. They'll say, no, I'm not from there. Then why you put on this mark? I'm gonna have to explain to them that is a sickness that made them give me. My own is on the two sides, close to my eye, one, and tiny one on my forehead.
So you were sick as a child?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I was sick. So, according to how they said the story, they said that I was very sick, that it was only the man that can revive me back to life. That's why they gave me that mark. And it is like, and it's very big. Anywhere I go, people just notice that it's me because of that mark.
Well, what would you have preferred? If the mark were supposed to keep you alive and they didn't give them to you and you were no longer in existence, would you have preferred that?
No, it was not like but this my own is very big that people cannot see it. It's even like tiny ones. It's big on my two sides, close to my eyes.
I get you. As a child, you probably didn't have a choice. I mean, at that point, like I said, what's your genotype, by the way? Hello? What's your genotype?
I don't know, because me, I'm not going to check. Oh. This is a very serious question.
Yeah. You have not checked your genotype to know whether you are AS or SS or A.
I'm telling you.
Ha!
And I need to go and do that. I think it's a very serious question.
Please go and check your genotype, yo, so that you not go and marry AS when you are AS. So that you not have sickle cell anemia. Then they will not start marking the child again. All in the name of the child is sicky. Please, you should, on a serious note. I mean, you're an adult. You should check your genotype and your blood group. I mean, what have you been filling in forms when they ask what is your genotype? All right, then.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Nigerian Phil, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ferdinand. I'm calling from Bogo.
You're welcome. Talk to me.
My beloved sister. Those cyber marks, I believe if you go interview one by one to those that have it, they will tell you their experience and they hate it. I myself very safe. I don't like it. No matter whatever it costs, as I did now on my own choice, say I want to die. You want to put that mark. Let it be. If God wills that I will die, I will die. Instead of taking that mark.
Wow.
And I will never ever keep it in any of my child. It's not good. If you see where you see somebody, you don't know what to call that person. Most of the people that have that mark are regretting it. So that is, and I don't believe because of that mark, somebody who wants to survive. I don't believe that. It's fetish.
But there are people who do, actually.
It's not actually that is causing it. Those things are just merely using it to let people to do something in some people's life. Those things are fetish. It doesn't work.
All right, then.
So they should stop it.
He doesn't believe it works, so they should stop it. Any mother-in-law wait here my child face saying a tribal mark, you go just from there, they go back your husband's house. Desi from Choba. When the Bible says not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers, it's not what many Nigerians think it is. In this life, to have peace, stick with people who believe in what you believe. There are things people need to discuss before marriage to prevent hearing, but this is how we do it in our own family, or it's not a big deal in my culture. I suffered skin issues when I was younger. I know how they affected me, and those are temporary. I can't imagine someone permanently scarring my child, especially using the guise of tradition. I'm flinging that person through a window. I appreciate that one of your callers believes he was doing good by trying to disguise the child. But when you spiritually hide or disguise anyone, they also tend to be cloaked from good forces. There are people who suffer so much and they are finally told there is a spiritual covering triggering disfavor from the ones who are supposed to help them, because those helpers can't spiritually see or recognize them. Oh my God, we had to go there. Oh my God. Really? Anonymous? Really? So the tribal mark disguises the person, and the good spirits are not supposed to recognize the person as well. So it goes both ways. While it helps to keep the child alive, why am I seeing money on my screen this afternoon? What's going on here? Somebody has just been counting dollars and I think it's a good sign. I take it to be a good sign. I'll count money soon and soon. But back to what Anonymous is saying. The mark is meant to disguise the child. It's also going to serve against the child if the good spirits cannot recognize the child. Okay. My tribe, Igala in Kogi State, joined in the past. But I doubt it if children born like 20 to 25 years ago do have tribal marks these days. I doubt if they in any tribal mark. Excuse me. I doubt if there is any tribal mark where I come from in Angpa local government in Kogi State. Civilization has spread around these days. Aminu, send that in. Okay, I think I'm seeing some of Joy's message from Nigeria Info Lagos here. These messages are obviously not for me. In my place, do we have them? I'm from Nembe local government area, by the way. Obolomabiri to be precise, in Bayelsa State. And it's not a thing. It's not. I mean, my mom doesn't have any. My dad doesn't have any. I don't have any. But I know that there are some other tribes in Bayelsa. Some other, like, there is a particular one peculiar to the Ijaw people. It's not big. Hold on. I think I need to Google it to explain what it's not usually big. It's just something, it's just like on the person's face. It's not as much as it is in some other places. So even if you see an Ijaw speaking man with a tribal mark, it's not big. That's what I'm trying to explain. I can't. It would just be like oh no. I just saw the picture of a baby. Don't know if it's a baby girl or a baby boy now. I just typed Ijaw tribal marks and I think that was what popped up. I know the Uwobos have something. I know I'm seeing the before meets after of some people with tribal marks, and makeup artists have done their best to try to reduce the appearance of some of them, and even the photographers who will do the editing of the pictures, they do their part too in trying to clear up some of the marks. So someone can have tribal marks in real life, while in pictures the person's face is very, very smooth. And yeah, I see the one of a particular she's a model. I think she has 4 on either side, 4 here, 4 there. What's her name? Adetutu, a Nigerian model who had these marks. She's trying to get Bada Boss pop star Rihanna's attention due to the star's all-inclusive fashion show for the Fenty campaign. She claimed the father of her child is ashamed to be seen with her because of her tribal marks. So it seems like what was once seen as a sign of beauty, identity, and heritage are now seen as a mutilation and something to be ashamed of. Didi, have you not heard or read of husbands protesting that the wives they married were different from the ones they saw beside them next day or after the vows because all the cosmetics and facials makeup artists hide these marks? Pastors have been advising that suitors should visit their wives to be around 6 a.m. to see their natural looks to avoid stories that touch. Remember Jacob and Leah of the Bible? Goba IC, send that in. Nigeria Info, good afternoon. Someone says, one of your callers said he put the mark of the child's face. I'm not against tribal marks because I have friends who do have them. My problem is, must the mark be on the face so that they aren't recognized? The people they are trying to hide the children from are bad spirits, right? So why can't they put the mark somewhere else on the body of the child? The spirit should have spiritual eyes too to see it anywhere on the body. Nigeria Info, welcome. Go ahead. Hello? Hello, anybody home? So Hector says, in the Ijaw tribe, it is the female that always have black dots on their forehead. I think there's a way they create that black dot. They use cashew or something. A typical Kalabari woman, if you check the forehead, you will see the dot, bing, like that. I know that one is true. This one says, good afternoon, Didi. For me, I have tribal mark. It was when I was small, and it was my grandma that gave it to me, and my son don't have it. I don't like it. Henry from Kidney Island. Final caller. Oh dear, we lost that call. Let's go back to Facebook if we have some more messages as we round off the conversation. Like I did mention earlier, there are people that will continue to do it. It's part of their culture that they are not willing to forfeit. Chuku Gospel says, I have my own tribal mark twice. A friend of my mother, the mother gave it to me. They said I'm very handsome at birth. Then the oldest man in my family gave me their own to stop me getting sick or being attacked by evil spirits. So because you're so handsome, they gave you mark. Listen, says, good afternoon, presenter. Chinecharam from Azumini in Dokiabia said, nothing cute. It's just a devil's mark. Atamuno Sonny Ogujagu says, they are not attractive at all. To me, they are very repulsive. Nigeria Info, good afternoon and welcome. Hello? Nigeria Info, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, this is my first time of calling.
First time caller, thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead.
Well, life is all about perspective. As for me, I find tribal mark very attractive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, especially when it's on a black girl.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I find it very attractive. I even wish I have one. I have a little one on my forehead, my face, but it's very little. I love it.
Okay, you love tribal marks.
Yeah.
Interesting. Canada, what's wrong with you? Have a seat. Have seat. Let me know what I'm getting
into. What kind of a conversation are people having?
We're talking tribal marks.
Do
you find them attractive or repulsive? And you consider giving any to your children for any reason? I mean, we had a herbalist call and say a child was about to die. And to save the child's life, so that the spirits that are attacking the child will not recognize the child. He gave the child a mark, and that's how that child lived till today. I mean, this is the only caller that called to say he finds it attractive. Because some people said if anybody tries it, that is the end. Like, that relationship has scattered. Someone on WhatsApp said they will throw the person, fling the person out the window. Whether it's mother-in-law, mother, grandmother, they do not care.
So I understand the part of traditional rights,
Yeah, some people use it for identification, beautification, and protection.
And for pursuing Abike spirit. Is it Abiku spirit?
Abiku spirit, yeah.
However, I will not give my child. I may not be able to say whether I like or I don't like it on other people's faces. I mean, I've not really thought about it, but I would not give my child. My parents did not give it to me. My parents were not given by their parents, and we all, from the job extraction. So I mean. I didn't get it, so why should I give mine?
Why should you give?
Why should I give mine? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not.
Even if it would save the child's life.
God is the giver of life. He gives and he takes. If he decides to take, who am I? Why should I draw a line on the face of the person? Why? Sometimes it scars the person for life, emotionally and mentally as well.
Yeah, so. Someone called. A lady called and said, anywhere she goes to, people look at her in a funny manner, and she doesn't like it on her face. Anyway, final message is, God will not allow me to have a mother-in-law who will have the mind to put a mark on my child's body or face. As for my wife, that day she will explain what took over her to make such decision without running it by me. I'm happy in my community we don't have such ask. What do we have on the three big stories today, Canada?
We got a couple of stories from Rivers State. Yesterday news broke that the political drama is still ongoing. The House of Assembly has asked the governor to withdraw the illegality. Stop doing illegal things. That's what they're saying. I mean, not my voice. I'm just trying to.
I would have said something, but
what do you want to say?
I don't know. The lawmakers that are still there, I think they say according to the constitution, but I'm not supposed to still be there.
But some people have said, the law does not act on itself. We have the judiciary to interpret, and so we're waiting for the interpretation from the courts, and so we will know by that time. But for now, they're saying. I was going to use the balance, but I just realized this is Nigerian info, so
it is Nigerian.
I'm going to leave the balance for Wazobia.
All right, stick around for Hard Facts after Rivers today. Follow us on X at Nigeria Info PH, Facebook page Nigeria Info 90.3 PH. Follow me on Instagram and X at _Denise_Dennis. I'll be back here tomorrow on the sunny side. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow is the last
show. This is Nigeria Info.
Bisola here from your favorite show, Flossom.